Welcome to my channel. A young man trusted his best friend with his biggest dream. 3 years later, he stood outside his own company, locked out, broken, and betrayed by the one person he loved like a brother. But what he did next shocked the entire city. Stay with me till the end, because this story will change the way you see pain forever. His name was Adam. He was 24 years old, and he had nothing but a dream in his heart and fire in his eyes. Adam grew up in a small town where nobody expected much from him. His father was a simple mechanic, and his mother sold homemade bread to keep the family going. But Adam was different. Every night while others slept, he sat by his tiny bedroom window with a notebook, writing down ideas, sketching plans, and whispering to himself, "One day, I will build something the world will remember." Adam had one best friend. His name was Ryan. They had grown up together, sharing lunches, sharing secrets, sharing every single dream. Ryan was smart, charming, and full of confidence. When Adam finally came up with the idea for a small tech startup, an app that would help students find affordable tutors, he did not think twice. He called Ryan and said, "Brother, I need you. Let's build this together." Ryan smiled and hugged him. "Adam, we are family. Your dream is my dream. I will stand by you until the end." Those words felt like a promise carved in stone. Adam and Ryan started small. They rented a tiny room above a bakery. The room smelled like fresh bread every morning, and the walls were so thin they could hear the traffic outside. They had one laptop, 2 chairs, and a broken fan that made more noise than wind. But they had something powerful. They had belief. Adam handled the vision, the coding, the late nights. Ryan handled the meetings, the investors, the paperwork. Adam trusted Ryan completely. He signed every document Ryan brought him without reading a single line. Because when your brother hands you a paper, you do not question it. You just sign. Months passed. The app started growing, slowly at first, then faster than they ever imagined. Students loved it. Tutors loved it. Investors began to call. Adam remembered the first time they received a big investment, $500,000. He and Ryan hugged each other and cried in that tiny room above the bakery. Adam looked at Ryan and said, "We did it, brother. We really did it." Ryan smiled and said, "This is just the beginning." But something small had begun to change. Ryan started attending meetings alone. He said Adam should focus on building the product while he handled the business side. Adam agreed. Why would he not? He trusted Ryan more than he trusted himself. Ryan started dressing differently, expensive suits, gold watches, luxury cars. Adam still wore the same 2 shirts he had owned since college. He did not care about money. He only cared about the mission. Then came the day that broke him. It was a rainy Tuesday morning. Adam walked to the office as always, holding 2 cups of coffee, one for himself and one for Ryan. He had stayed up all night fixing a bug in the app, and his eyes were red from exhaustion. But he was happy. The company was worth over $10 million now, and they were about to sign the biggest deal of their lives. As Adam reached the office building, the security guard stopped him at the door. Adam smiled and said, "Good morning, Sam, let me through." But Sam did not smile back. He looked down at the floor and said quietly, "Sir, I am sorry. You are not allowed inside anymore." Adam laughed, thinking it was a joke. "What are you talking about? This is my company." Sam handed him an envelope. Adam opened it with shaking hands. Inside was a legal notice. According to the documents, Adam had signed away 90% of his ownership months ago. He was no longer a founder. He was no longer even an employee. Ryan was now the sole owner of the company that Adam had built with his blood, his sweat, and his sleepless nights. Adam felt the world spin. The 2 cups of coffee slipped from his hands and crashed on the wet ground. He looked up at the office window on the 3rd floor. He could see Ryan standing there watching him. Their eyes met for one long, painful moment, and then Ryan simply turned around and walked away. Adam stood in the rain for what felt like hours. He did not cry. He did not scream. He just stood there, soaked, empty, and betrayed by the one person he had loved more than a brother. The people passing by looked at him strangely, but he did not care. His entire world had just collapsed in front of the very building he had built. That night, Adam went back to his small apartment. He sat on the floor in the dark, staring at nothing. He had no money. He had no company. He had no friend. He had no dream left. He picked up his phone and scrolled through old photos of him and Ryan laughing, hugging, celebrating. And now all of it was a lie. Adam whispered to himself, "How could he do this to me? How could my own brother destroy me?" For the next 3 weeks, Adam did not leave his apartment. He stopped eating properly. He stopped answering calls. He lay in bed for hours, replaying every memory, searching for the moment he should have seen it coming. His mother called him crying, begging him to come home. But he could not face anyone. He felt like a failure. He felt like the whole world was laughing at him. Then one evening, something changed. His mother sent him a small package. Inside was an old, torn notebook. It was the very same notebook he had written in as a teenager, back in that tiny bedroom in his small town. He opened it slowly. On the first page, in his younger handwriting, he had written 3 words, "Never give up." Below that, he had written, "One day I will build something the world will remember." Adam stared at those words for a long time, and then for the first time in weeks he cried. He cried until his chest hurt, but these were not tears of weakness. These were tears of return. Something inside him woke up. That fire, the fire he thought had died, was still there. It was small, almost gone, but it was still burning. And he realized something powerful in that moment. Ryan had taken his company, but Ryan could not take his mind. Ryan could not take his ideas. Ryan could not take the fire in his heart, because that fire was never given to him. It was born inside Adam. The next morning, Adam got up. He took a shower, he shaved. He wore his old shirt, the one from college, and he sat down with a fresh notebook and started writing again, not out of revenge, not out of anger, but out of purpose. He wrote, "I lost everything. Now I will build something even greater." For the next 2 years, Adam worked harder than he had ever worked in his entire life. He took small freelance jobs to pay rent. He slept only 4 hours a night. He read every book he could find on business, on people, on trust, on leadership. He learned what he had done wrong. He learned that being kind is a gift, but being blind is a mistake. He learned that trust must be given slowly, and contracts must be read carefully. He learned that pain is the greatest teacher when you refuse to let it become your prison. Adam built a new company. This time, it was an educational platform that helped young people from small towns learn skills for free. He remembered where he had come from. He remembered the boy by the tiny window, dreaming with a broken pencil. And he built his company for that boy, for every boy and girl like him. Within 18 months, Adam's new company grew bigger than his old one. Much bigger. It touched millions of students across the country. Newspapers wrote about him. Universities invited him to speak. And Adam, the boy who had once stood in the rain outside his own company, now stood on stages inspiring thousands. One evening after a big event, a familiar man came up to him. It was Ryan. He looked older, thinner, tired. His old company had failed. He had made too many wrong decisions, too many enemies, too many lies. He stood in front of Adam with tears in his eyes and said, "Adam, I am so sorry. I destroyed our friendship. I destroyed everything. Can you ever forgive me?" Adam looked at him for a long moment, and then Adam smiled softly and said, "Ryan, I forgave you a long time ago, not because you deserved it, but because I deserved peace." He put his hand on Ryan's shoulder and said, "The greatest revenge is not to destroy the one who broke you. The greatest revenge is to become someone the pain could not destroy." Ryan cried and walked away, And Adam stood there looking at the sky, feeling something he had not felt in years. He felt free. Message to the viewer. My friend, if you are watching this right now, listen to me carefully. Someone in your life may have betrayed you. A friend, a partner, a family member. Someone you trusted with your heart, your dreams, or your future. And maybe right now you feel broken. You feel foolish. You feel like your world has ended. But please hear this. Betrayal is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a stronger you. The people who broke you did not know that they were also freeing you. They were forcing you to grow. They were removing themselves from a future they did not deserve to be in. You are not weak because you trusted. You are beautiful because you trusted. The problem was never your trust. The problem was their character. So do not close your heart. Do not become cold. Do not become bitter. Instead, rise, rebuild. Reinvent yourself. Because one day, you will look back at this pain and you will smile. You will realize that the very thing that almost destroyed you was actually the thing that made you unstoppable. So tell me in the comments, have you ever been betrayed? And what did you learn from it? If this story touched your heart, please subscribe, share it with someone who needs it today, and remember,